Yo, 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 yo.
Yeah, what's up,
Peace and
brother?
love,
What's going
man. How
on?
you
Peace and
doing?
love. I'm doing good, brother. Can't complain. Can't complain. How's your
Day
day
was real
going?
good,
How was
bro.
your
A
day?
little smooth, just relaxed. Went for a little jog, trying to get the weight right. It was good though. It was smooth.
Ab- Absolutely, absolutely, man. Let me just tell you a
Yeah.
quick story, real quick. One of my homegirls, she was on my show, probably back in like season two. Her name was Selena, and she hit me up and she was like, yo, Jeff, I think I have a dope guest for you on your show to be on your show." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, send me the information." So she sent me your Instagram. And I'm like, wait a minute, this guy looks familiar. It looks very familiar. I was like, wait a minute. I tried to put two to two together. Wait a minute. We went to the same junior high school.
Where you in? You in 95?
9-5.
Nah.
Went to 95, man. I graduated in 2002.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, and I used to roll with Ted and them. Ted, Yao,
yeah.
both Yaos at that.
Right. You know, Ted, my cousin.
Oh, really? I didn't know Ted was your cousin.
Yeah, Kevin Ted, my cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, I played ball with him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and we went to the same high. We went to Clinton together.
That's a small world.
It's a small world. Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
and your other cousin Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah.
Also, yeah, he modeled now, but
Yeah.
he was on the basketball team as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah, look, Jeffrey. They always be with Yao.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we all used to hang out together, man.
Wow, bro, that's
So,
crazy.
yeah, so when she sent me that, I was like, wait a minute, he looked familiar.
That's
I like,
crazy.
and then I paid two to like, yo, we went to the same junior high school.
That no,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah. What year did you graduate?
2004.
2004. Because did you have Mr. Robinson as a teacher?
Bro, I hadn't had Mr. Robinson. I tried to try out for the basketball team. I got served.
Oh, okay.
I had Mr. Merchant as a teacher. You know, Merchant was always
Oh yeah, that's my dude. That's my dude.
yeah. That's what I got. I
Yeah.
had Merchant and Miss Floyd. You know, throughout the year, so forth and so on. Yeah.
Oh, Miss Floyd. Okay. Yeah. Actually, my mother worked there too as well.
Oh, word?
Yeah, she's a para. Her name is Miss Owsley.
Okay. I don't remember.
Yeah. I seen a picture of her later, but yeah, she still works there. She about to retire in a couple of years. Yeah, man. Like Munaka and Mr. Merchant and all.
Yeah.
Man. Definitely.
Remember,
It's crazy. Yeah, Munaka. That's my math teacher. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's
That's
crazy.
fire, bro. That's fire.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'm gonna give like a 30 second countdown, and I'm gonna do my introduction, and then I'm gonna introduce you. Okay. All right. Here we go. 30 seconds.
Okay.
What is up? What is up, everybody? What is up? And we are live. We are live. And first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh and His only forgotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the word called Jesus Christ. Is another episode of Saucy Conversations, season 4, episode 11. And today we got a special guest. But before we get to our special guest, shout out to our sponsors. We got Click A Vodka, who've been down with us since day one. So make sure you'll get you some Click A Vodka. The link is in, just click that link and it will actually send you straight to the website. And you can have it delivered to your front door. And also you can make you a nice drink, what we call a saucy conversation, where you get your, you can mix the Click A Vodka with the, your favorite lemonade. See, I like to use, pink lemonade and all that. But, any other lemonade you like, it could be blueberry, raspberry, whatever you like, mix it with the Click A Vodka. And that's the saucy conversation right there. Shout out to Click A Vodka, and also shout out to our other sponsor, which is Holistic Remedies. It's black owned company. They got CBD oils, body butters, and body creams, and all that. So make sure you go check them out, and don't forget to use that promo code HR Me Saucy. You get 10% off. That's HR Me Saucy. And you get 10% off. And also go check out some official merch, which is on Teespring as well. The link is also below. And yeah, we thank everybody for showing support. Whether you bought a t-shirt, a hoodie, a pet hoodie, it doesn't matter. We appreciate the love and support. Shout out to my co-host is going to be here today. Shout out to Dad, Mac. Shout out to Denise as well. Shout out to the whole Saucy Nation. Shout out to everybody who's watching on Twitch, who's watching on YouTube, and also watching on Saucy Nation TV Facebook page. We appreciate you for watching. And those who are not watching, you can make it to the broadcast today. And you just listen at home, whether you're at home, whether you're in the car, whether you're at work. So, you know, a lot of y'all be at work, listen to the podcast. So we appreciate you as well on all streaming platforms. So we love you and we appreciate you. So today I have a special guest today. This guy, he's a Bronx native, just like me. BX in the building. BX is definitely in the building. Stand up. You know what I'm saying? He's a rapper. He's an independent rapper. He's been doing this thing for almost a decade. You gotta put respect on this thing. This man is certified. You understand me? This man performed with Lupe. All the rappers who you love today, he performed with them, man. Yo, I like to welcome to Saucy Conversation. It's Uni-G. What's up, my brother?
Oh, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for having me. You're looking.
Most definitely. The hand claps. With the hand claps, man. What's going on with you? How you been? You know, doing this pandemic, like I call it, the pandemic. The pandemic. How you been doing? How's the family? Yeah, let's start with that. Let's start there.
Everything good. Everything good. You know, it's been such an interesting pandemic. You know, transition. Because I didn't even realize how much the pandemic, you know, affected, you know, music. You know, and as me as an independent artist, because in the beginning, I was still shooting videos like, weekly. You know what I mean? But then I realized like, as things became more serious, things had to slow down. We couldn't go outside, so forth and so on. So of course that affects things, that affects the money, that affects the touring, so forth and so on. But I'm now starting to get back in the groove of everything. The album is almost done, so you know
Nice.
now just get back on it. You know what I'm saying? So good.
That's dope, man. Like before we begin the podcast. You know, shout out to Elena, who's an ex a Saucy Conversation alumni. She's a Saucy Conversation alumni, and she was on the show, and she hit me up like, "Yo, I think I have the perfect guest for you." I was like, "All right, send me the information." So she sent me her information, and come to find out, I like, "Damn, I know this dude from somewhere." Yeah. And then I put two together, and we both went to the same junior high school. Ain't that crazy? It's a small world, man. Crazy. It's a small world, man.
Crazy.
Definitely.
I was thinking you had to do it to find that out. Just sort of mutual followers, like that's crazy.
Like, yeah, definitely because I follow like Kevin and them on Instagram. So so there's a connection here. So that's why I put two together. Like, yo, I went to the same junior high school as his brother, man. Yeah, it's fire, man. Tracy Towers, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, Clinton High School, PS MS 95. Shout out to the whole Marshall era. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you know, we got the McDonald's over there. You got the Chinese food. You got the Spanish spot in the corner. You know, and back in the day, if you wanted your name on a T-shirt, you hit to the spot. You put your name. I forgot the name of the spot, but you know what I'm talking about. Or the whole basketball team had nicknames on the back of their shirt. You know what I'm saying? Iron on and everything. So shout out to everybody here, Tracy, man. Crew, Ted and them, man. Peace of love to all them brothers, man. Yeah, definitely. All right, so Uni, let's just start with the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tell us about your humble beginnings. Where did you grow up? How did you grow up? The household. How was it in your household and everything?
Yeah. So born and raised in the Bronx, Tracy Towers. Still here. I'm about to move soon though. But yeah, born and raised here, and I just grew up in a Ghanaian household. Very spiritual base. You know, my mom made sure everybody had a foundation of Christ, and we still do. Even more so now. You know what I mean? When we all seek Him now on our own. But as far as music goes, bro, like I was rapping in 952, and in the yearbook, I was the best freestyler. You know,
shit.
But so I started rapping then. But when it really started taking off, when I was in high school at 17, Mr. Biggs from the Soul Sonic Force, Africa being bottom of the Soul Sonic Force. he heard me in a battle, and he was like, "Bro, like you battle as if you are making a song," and it was off the top. This wasn't like this was before when rap like freestyle was freestyle, and it wasn't
Right, right,
right. So
right.
yeah, it was, so he was like, "Yo, you freestyle as if it's a song." He's like, "Yo," and he took me to the studio, and it really changed the trajectory of my life. Like we was in Madison Square Garden as a 17-year-old kid, and I'm with like legends, Biz Markie, and so many
Mm,
different people. I can't even remember all of them. And I'm like, "Yo, this it can really be my career." So from then on, I just started really taking music seriously. He had me in the studio with legends, and I just started going off. And from there, I released my first like big single, which it was corny, but looking back at it, was necessary for the time. But it was called "Do the
yeah.
Cocoa Butter," and
The
it
Coco.
yeah, "Do the Cocoa." And it was like a dance and all that. But it was good for the times.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
After that, it took it took charge. And World Star, they shot the video for it. They put it on World Star. It was like it really gained a lot of traction. But then I'm like, all right, like now that I can see I can do this. I mean, let me change how I'm making music. So I started making more like music that wasn't gimmicky and just real music, for me. And then I had Joe Budden on my album. I had another like hard single. He came out to my album release party. So forth and
Nice.
so on. I had like bigger singles, and yeah, that's pretty much the beginning. You know,
Beginning. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So, so you mentioned faith. You know how your parents installed that in you.
yeah,
You are a Christian, right?
yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Tell us about that, man. Growing up being a Christian. For me, I grew up as a Baptist
mm,
Christian. My father was a preacher. I'm a preacher's son.
wow,
I had mainly converted to uh, to my history, which is being an Israelite and stuff like that. But just tell us about your faith, just growing up, and how what you learn from your parents and learn from the religion, and how it still helps you today to move through this crazy society.
yeah, yeah. I love that question, bro. So growing up, we went to church every Sunday, so forth and so on. Praise God. I grew up in a Pentecostal church.
Mm,
While my mom was more Catholic, though, so we had Catholic foundation, but we was in a Pentecostal church. And bro, like I was in church all the time, and I try to get my friends to come out to church, but it wasn't until actually last year where I found out, like, what, I'm not really a Christian. Like I mean, I was playing Christian, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you have one foot in the world, one foot out. And you know what I
Exactly.
mean? And with God, it's either light or dark. So I really
Right.
started, I like again, I started like watching a Michael Todd, his YouTube series that he has, and I'm like, okay, as he was talking, I'm like, you know what, like I'm out here fornicating, I'm having sex, doing what I want, and I'm claiming to be a Christian. I'm not a Christian. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
doing these. It's either like in essence, like, all right, if I say I'm a rapper, and I'm not in the studio, I'm not putting out videos. Yeah, I can rap well, like, but I'm not really a rapper. And the same thing
Yeah.
with my,
Yeah.
my faith. And then I
Right.
was like, okay, I was listening to Michael Todd, and he was like, one thing you need to do, one was find a local church, and I really wanted to transition my life. And I'm like, you know what, God, I prayed, and I'm like, God, please help me to find godly community. And
Absolutely.
I kid you not, like maybe that same week, me and Kev was doing a photo shoot, and some guy walked up to me. He's like, yo, bro, like, are you in the arts? We have a church that helps those or like supports those who are in the arts, media, sports. We have people who's on Netflix and Good Morning America and so forth. I'm like, that's crazy. Any church could have came to me, but this one comes, and I tell him my faith
Right.
in this. As I did the Bible studies, I realized one, I wasn't a Christian. I was deceiving myself in many ways, and since then, bro, I've changed my life entirely. Like I took my album down, um, with a whole bunch of streams. I took music videos down that had like girls, bodies and so much exposing in there. I took it all
Right.
down and really transitioned my music. I took all the curses out of my album, put it back up, which affected my streams. But I'm like, if I'm gonna do this for God, then I'm really gonna do this for God.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not
gotta come
gonna be
right.
a Christian and not live the life of a Christian. So
Absolutely.
that's where I'm at with it now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You gotta come right for the Lord. You
Right,
know?
right, right, right.
Right. Right. So, my next question is for you. Do you have any like brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I'm the youngest. I have an older brother, older sister.
Okay, cool. And how was that growing up? Because I have an older sister and a younger sister as well. So how was that growing up how was the vibes in the household
Oh man,
with y'all?
yeah, yeah. We're so different. Like my brother, he's a physician, and my parents are Ghanaian, so with that being said, rap isn't like a thing. They're like, "What are you talking about? Like, stop playing, go be a lawyer and shit." You know what I mean? All of those things,
Yeah.
and it was kind of just like that, where it was like we don't really understand the worlds, but it's that's the worlds we're in. But just there was a respect, like, all right, I get what you're doing. When me and my sister, there's more of a, like a, I she gets it because she's closer in age to me. But my brother, he's 5 years older than me. He's like, yeah, like stop rapping and go get a real job.
Right.
Even when it brings money in, he don't care. It's like,
Exactly.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was that growing up, but it was also just that mutual respect where I'm just let you do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing. You know what I'm saying? But luckily now, I've shared my faith with my entire family, and my mom is starting to study the Bible now. My sister's
That's what's
studying
up.
the Bible, and hopefully my brother could do it too. He's still a little shaky, whatever, but it's been dope. You know what I
So
mean?
it's a process, you know.
It's a process.
Yeah, you can't go cold turkey on that one. It's a
Exactly,
process
exactly,
and everything.
exactly.
So take me to the beginning of your rapping. You mentioned you was battle rapping and everything. And I tell you, back in the day, especially in '95, battle rap was a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been through so many wars. Shout out to the twins and all that. I've been through so many wars. Others just having ciphers and try to see who's the best rapper in '95. So tell me, who inspired you to put the pen on the paper? Who inspired you? What rappers inspired you? Or rapper
Right, right,
inspired
right.
you?
So growing up, I loved, of course, Biggie, the Tupacs. I
Yeah.
really loved Tupac. We had a lot of my brother used to listen to a lot of West Coast rap. I used to
Oh,
listen
okay.
to a lot of West Coast rap, but Biggie definitely resonated with me. Tupac, OD, Tupac, then the Q-Tips, then the I like Most Def and Talib Kweli, the whole Tribe Called Quest, so forth and so on. So that really inspired me. What I love the most, I would say, like Biggie inspired a lot of my wit because I was good with words and I had jokes on people. So when I would hear how Biggie
Mm-hmm.
could be very just because Tupac was very, could be very straightforward. Most times
Direct. Direct.
direct. Most times Biggie would like bend his words instead of saying there's nothing but he would say Nathan but penetration and I'm like, I like that he's just playing with it. He's having fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that really like started to inspire me. And then I listened to a lot of like just the battle rappers, like the eventually the Smack DVDs, and I'm like, okay, I like this. I could do this. So that's where it started off. But then the transition into really becoming an artist was when Mr. Biggs came and he was like, pretty much he nailed in my head, yo, battle rappers at the time, he's like, they don't make money. He said, if you want a career that's has longevity and you can really hone into a craft that people want to hear you, he was like, yo, get into really honing into your music. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
started
yeah.
transitioning into that, just making music, writing, and okay, how can I make this catchy and put my heart in it, so forth and so on, opposed to punchline, punchline, punchline.
Right, right. Because back then there was no URL.
Exactly,
It
exactly,
was
exactly,
Smack DVD, that's it.
exactly.
Exactly. So as of right now, you could just be like a regular rapper, just making songs stuff like that, or you just be a battle rapper making a lot of money, making 25,000 and 50,000, 100,000. A cat shout out to Cassidy and all them. They doing that thing. They doing their thing on that battle rap tip. You
Right,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Yeah. So my next question to you you said Tupac and Biggie. What's some of your favorite songs that if you was on a deserted island,
Yeah,
what albums would you take with you
yeah. So
for your favorite artist?
got you. Um, I'm definitely taking Tupacalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Me against the world. I can listen to J Cole all day. Like people like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
J Cole boring. For me, J Cole's not boring.
Yeah.
2014 Forest Hills is something I can definitely listen to all day. My favorite rapper is Lupe, so I can go down the
Okay.
list of the cool Food and Liquor Two, Laser,
Mm-hmm.
um, of course, Ready to Die. Everybody got Ready to Die.
Mm-hmm.
Blueprint. What I got on my wall, Volume Two. Um, Blueprint Two. Blueprint Two was only I to me. Yeah, a few of those, and maybe like some Kanye albums. What am I talking about? The Graduation and College
College
Dropout.
Dropout. Oh, that's
Yeah,
my joint. Yeah,
yeah.
College Dropout is my joint. I was actually listening to that album today. I'm
Okay.
like, yeah, like it's so crazy how like an artist could develop
Yeah.
and everything, and it's sometimes in the point of history,
Yeah.
you can see like if you watch Kanye now, like he's going back
Yeah.
to that college dropout Kanye, which everybody wanted in the first
Right,
place.
right, right.
And he's putting everybody on blast, like he just the Steam player and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
selling over a million copies in less than
right,
like 24 hours. So he's going back to that arrogant. He always been arrogant, but he's
right,
going back to that arrogant, woke.
right.
Being around. When he was around Most Def and Black Star.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
First album is like, and that's good to see from Kanye.
Right.
My next question to you, are you really into like fashion?
Yeah, I am. I got my own clothing line. This is it. So cold chili and everything. Yeah, I'm into it.
Tell us about that, man. Tell us
Yeah.
about uh, how much love you have for fashion and what led to you starting your own clothing line.
Right. So what led to me starting my own clothing line was pretty much like, of course, my friends had clothing lines, so forth and so on. But I'm like, every time I have a show, I would get like, I would want to give them some merch out, a T-shirt with my face on it, or when I would go on tour, I would want like my whole team to represent, so to have like Uni-G jackets, so forth and so on. So I'm like, I want to really take it to a whole nother level. So I remember just thinking about the name, and what inspired it was, I'm like thinking of a homeless man who was eating um Burger King used to sell chili. So I remember just like thinking about a homeless man who was like, I think, digging out the garbage or just trying to find eating the chili out of the garbage, and it was nasty. And just but what it taught me was, what we see as garbage, this man sees as life. He sees as survival. And then I heard Lupe say something about free chili, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call my clothing line Cold Chili. It's that cold chili represented, not, it's not cold chili literally, but it represents what we see as garbage, another man sees as life or survival. So
Mm,
it's a little boy. um I have a chain or the full emblem of it where he's holding a bowl of chili, and it just pretty much represents what we take for granted in life. And I made that my clothing line, and it did really well. Sway Calloway hit me up, and he bought a bunch of my bomber jackets, and he was like, "Yo, you only like come out to Sirius XM and give some of your jackets out to the staff." And he made me give one to Black Youngster, and so forth.
mm.
And he actually promoted it on Red Bull TV, and he went like overseas with it, so forth and so on. So it's been doing
Yeah.
well, bro. You know what I mean? It's been doing
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to Sway, man. I've been listening to Sway and watching Sway for a very long time, man. And how important to you was a icon like Sway? Not only have you come up to the studio,
Yeah,
and was it Freestyle Friday? Was it
yeah,
that,
yeah.
that type?
Yep, 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 yep.
Yes, yes. I was watching a clip earlier about that, man. You did your thing on that. Yeah, tell us about Sway actually, icon like Sway showing support to you and your brand. You know,
What's so
tell,
crazy, bro? That's so crazy. This crazy story behind that was the year before. I was like on a block, whatever case may be, in Harlem, and I used to carry my like CD with me everywhere. I remember seeing a Jamie Foxx show, and he was like, "Yo, if you don't carry your demo with you, you're not really doing this." And I didn't have my
absolutely.
demo with me, and I saw Sway, and I'm like, I didn't even know what to do. I just went up to him, I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, what's up, yeah, man?" And I was like, like I don't know what to say to him. I ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
And bro, I was like, I was mad at myself. So then a year later, I uh I I was working with Sony Records as a producer, and I had like a fake falling out with them, whatever. So I go next door to Atlantic because I had a real good relationship with the people at Atlantic, and somebody taking up my studio time, and I'm like, "Yo, come on, like I got a band with me. I'm working on the album, the second album," and Sway comes out, and
Mm,
I'm like, nah, this is crazy. So I'm like, I'm like, "Hey, Sway, what's up? My name is Uni-G. I met you." He's like, "Okay, cool." We took a picture, and then that was pretty much it. Then I go to another event, and Sway's there. It was as if like God wanted us to just like click, and eventually we clicked. He saw my jacket. He actually come out, and so being from a place where I had no demo tape to even talk this way, where I know him, I can hit him up right now, text him to be like, "Yo, Sway, I want to come up and blah blah blah," and he's like, "Yo, let's do it." Or he hits me up. The fact that Sway hits me up, coming from a place where I didn't
mind
know,
blowing.
it's mind blowing.
It's mind blowing, man.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Crazy.
absolutely, absolutely. So coming up in the game, you've been doing this for almost a decade
Yeah.
as an independent artist, man. Take us to your first
Yeah.
independent project, and,
Yeah.
and how was the process
Mhm.
for you?
Yeah. So My first project dropped. It was called the commercial. Um, it was called the commercial. Yeah, it was called the commercial in 2012. And bro, it was interesting because I was working on that project for so long, and it was like, dang, just trying to get the beats together and the ideas, the concept, and I called it the commercial because I was like, I know I'm somewhat of a conscious artist, but who wants to reach the commercial, lane of people. So how can I do that? You know what I mean? So I started off the album with a real conscious song, and then had my commercial hit, so forth and so on. And another like big hit that I had on there was called "Go Get It," and it was produced by Quincy Jones the third, the son, Quincy Jones, son.
Yeah, son. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I did the beat. I sampled the beat from Fresh Prince, and when he heard it, he retweeted it, and all. He's like, "Yo, check out Uni-G." I was like, "Yo, this is fire." You know what I mean? Then of course, like I said, I had Joe Budden on the album, do the Cocoa Butter, so forth and so on, and the momentum started really, catching up. Then afterwards, I dropped my second album, Welcome to My Universe, and before doing that, I dropped a single called Swerve, and Swerve changed my life. Like God changed my life, but Swerve really like
Yeah.
took it to a whole nother level where I went on my Swerve tour, and I had Graff on the tour, Nitty Scott, um, uh, Smoke Dizza, I was with Big Crit, Manolo Rose, so forth and
Mm.
so on, and it really like Swerve took off. And what I did was instead of just like opening up for artists, I would like ask the artists to come out. I'd pay some artists. I paid like Fred the Godson would have other artists open up for us, and then
Legend. Yeah.
eventually, yeah, and then eventually, Hot 97 came out to the show. Revolt TV came out to the show, and this was something that I started because I was asking to be on people's tours, and people wasn't booking me, so I just started
Right.
doing
Right.
it on my own, and I legit started the tour in my bedroom, just sending emails out and by myself, and then I would ask Kev and a few other people on my team to just like, yo, come through and support the show, and bro, it blew up from there. You know what I mean? And then eventually ended up on tour with Lupe, A Boogie, Tiger, so forth and so on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
crazy.
Man, yeah, that's big, man. I gotta drop a saucy bomb on that one, man. You
Come
gotta
on,
do
bro.
you gotta do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do it yourself, man.
Like,
Like, it ain't gonna come to you, man. You gotta
back,
go out there and get it.
back. Mhm.
Or my next question to you: when you're in the studio,
Yeah.
what is your ritual? Because a
Mhm.
lot of rappers, including myself,
Yeah.
have rituals. Some rappers gotta have a bowl of jelly beans. They gotta have, five chicken wings and a Pepsi. They
Right.
gotta have some fine chicks around them with some liquor. They gotta have some,
Right.
some weed. It's so many different rituals with an artist. Just trying to get to their comfort zone and
Yeah.
actually to record. What is your actual ritual recording?
Yeah. So now, before I go into anything, I didn't do this before. I pray, and I'm like, God, like I want your words to come out, not my own. I don't want to glorify myself, because I can get in that way of like, how can I make a hit? Well, how can I? Oh, God, what do you want? You know what I mean? Like, and then he doesn't give me this big voice where, yeah, I want you to. I'm like, God, just, you know what I mean? Just give me the ideas, the thoughts, the heart
Yeah.
you want me to have going into this. So that's the first thing I do, or at least try to do. Then after that, if I already have like the beat produced, so forth and so on, I just go in there and just talk my heart and just, bar for bar it sometimes. It could be sometimes a lot of mumbling, like, I'm on saucy conversations with no hesitation. Zun, 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 you know what I mean? And just fill it in, or I could just have it already pre-written, so forth and so on. But that's first. But I'm in the studio. I don't like to think of myself as Kev thinks I am, but I'm not a control freak. But I'm
Mm.
somebody, I need things to go exactly how it is in here, or better, I need to move exactly how I imagine it. So I can be sometimes annoyingly on top of the engineer, like, cut this. And it could be the smallest thing to them. But to me, I don't like going back to records and I hear something like, I should have done something, should have did something about that. It could be something as like a, you're, and I don't like that, cut it out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
real, like, I like to be really, really involved. So that's how I
Ab-
do it.
Absolutely, because the way you hear it in your head, it has to be like that on tape.
Exactly. Better. You know what I mean?
Better, even better. Because if it's not, it's like I'm not feeling it.
Exactly.
I got to do it again.
Yeah.
Like I had been in like some sessions with some beat makers,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just to have an idea for a beat. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So when I have this idea for the beat, I'm telling the guy who's making it out like this is the way I hear it. So I gotta start somewhere. I gotta start dun, 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 oh, I gotta like have like a if I want like somebody talking on it, like
Mm.
some like a snippet I could get from YouTube or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Like, this is what I want in the beginning of the record, and this is the way I hear it. So you have to coach,
yeah.
the people who's making these beats or the producer who's actually
Right.
mixing it the way you actually hear it in your head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's very important because you painting this you painting this painting in your head, but you just wanted to illustrate it on the track.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Also in the video as well.
You got to get the heart behind it too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man.
Exactly it, bro. Yeah.
So you mentioned your last album, which came out in 18.
Yeah.
Um, Welcome to My Universe.
Yeah.
My favorite song on the album is actually "Summertime Party."
Ah, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
It had this. Just listen to it earlier. Does it have that "Around the Way Girl" sample in it?
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does. It does.
Look it down. I know. Man, take us to take us to that process of actually you recording that song and how did it come about?
Yeah, yeah. You know what's crazy about Summertime Party is, first of all, my guy Jetlag Beats and he made the beat. He made a majority of it. I just like tweaked some few things, and I'm like, yo, I loved around the way girl growing up. You know, everybody.
Yeah.
I want to capture that essence, but more so in a a today vibe. So I remember just hearing the beat and just like, okay, added this. Now I'm like, what type of vibe am I going for? And I remember the song. It's so corny, but my mind is just not I hip hop. You know, when I think of music, I like to listen to like a Nat King Cole and how Nat King Cole vibe to this. Or I don't know if you remember S Club gonna show you. It was like a I don't know what
Yeah. But
ain't no party like summertime. Let's turn up. That's what I'm like. Okay, that's the S Club in it. How can I make it more hip hop? Then ain't no party like a summertime. I'm like, okay, okay. So I put it all together. Had a whole bunch of people come out to the studio. That's when I was working still with Atlantic, and they came out to the studio. We recorded it there, and the verses took me. I don't know why it took me forever to write, but when I sit with a beat for too long, sometimes I hear I don't hear the beat. I hear the sounds. So I hear the kick. I hear the clap. I hear the snare. I hear the hats instead of a fully composed beat. So when I get in that technical phase, it's hard for me to connect with the beat. So that's what happened with that song. So I was gonna have Nitty Scott do the second verse, but
okay.
we never had a chance to get to it. So for the song, like she had a lot going on, so I just did both verses, and the song did really well. My guy Sus One asked me to come out to Power 105. We did a interview on that. The first video I had, did really well too, but I took that down just because again, it had a lot of women overexposed, and I'm like, if I'm gonna do it for God, let me do this right. So we ended up editing the video, or I ended up editing the video, and taking out all of that and putting it back up. So, but yeah, that was the idea behind the song. The video, it took me like 3 years to get the props and everything, the location, but it was dope. It was dope.
Absolutely, man. That's a dope song, man. It's just the energy on that record, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank
I mean, it's up there with the original, like "Summertime." Record.
you.
You know,
Appreciate that.
Will Smith and and Jazzy Jeff. Sometimes energy, like yo,
That's right. That's right.
whatever. The first day of summer, I'm playing the song, and I'm I'm blasting the song in the car. Okay, or I have my little boom box with me, whatever.
Right, right, right.
The first day of summer, I'm blasting the song because of the energy. It just makes you feel good, man.
Appreciate that.
Man, shout out to you for making that dope
Yeah,
ass song. Nah,
appreciate that.
definitely, man. And you mentioned Swerve, man. Swerve
Yeah.
was the first one to actually chart even internationally, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so tell me the feeling of finding out that your song is charting.
Yeah,
You're the charts. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's internationally. You got people outside the U.S. listen to music. So
Right.
tell me about how was the feeling, brother? How was the feeling?
Yeah, what's so crazy is that I at the time I'm trying to get out of this now. That's so crazy. I didn't even know it hit the charts yet. Like I was working with Sony at the time, and they helped me, to bring it more exposure and get on the charts. And bro, I'm so like one of those people who I was one of those people who can get so caught up in the moment of what I got to do next. What's next? What's next? What's next? And sometimes I don't live in the moment. Like I can't. Looking back on that, I used to do stuff like that. But like even at the time, bro, like on the on tour, I could be performing so forth, but in my head, I'm like, okay, what do I got to do next? What's the next song? Like, okay, I got to make sure I do this, I do that on stage. How do I interact with the crowd again? And while rapping, like I'm doing all this, you know what I'm saying? And people like, yo, you were so funny when you said, and I'm like, I don't even remember doing any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right,
when Swerve was
absolutely,
charting, I was so in grind mode, like, and I also want to dispel the idea of you sleep when you die. Like, no, rest. You know what I mean? Because like, you know what I mean. I've almost had so many bad moments because of that. But I would say like when I found out I was it charted, I was like, okay, that's dope. What's next? How can I get to
absolutely.
number one? Or what's the next move for the next single? So forth and so on. But seeing Swerve climb up the way he did, the original Swerve video had about over 100,000 videos on YouTube and like 100,000 on Facebook and 100,000 here and so forth and so, and it was hitting like places I couldn't even imagine. That was like, wow, like this was the same song or same moment where people like denied me, like was like, like you trash, you're not gonna make it, or who are you? You don't got enough followers. To where that same song had people who legit rejected me, book me for shows, like pay me, and
Mm,
in a humble way. And it was like, and it was crazy for me because it was like, yo, the song didn't change, nothing changed,
right,
So
right,
while people can see like, yo, he's a, a status now, he's Uni-G or whatever. For me, I'm like, yo, I'm the same kid who came up to you before. You know what I mean? There's no.
right.
So that's what I would say that whole moment of Swerve, did for me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Um, like you mentioned before, like you didn't know how people want to take you on tour, so you had to,
Yeah.
find your own way to create your own tour.
Yeah.
Tell us about that process, man, because a lot of people, especially a lot of artists, man, they get a lot of you send out a lot of cold emails and don't get a response, man.
Yeah.
So what make it took it upon yourself, like fuck it, I'm gonna just start reaching out myself and reaching out to certain people, or you know tell us about that process of actually headlining your own tour.
Yeah, bro, you know what's so crazy? I won't ever forget those times. Hopefully, I don't, because of such humbling beginnings. I would send out at least, like no lie, at least maybe to 50 to 100 emails a day. And my goal every day I woke up was I have to do just one thing every day to bring me closer to this mission. Just one thing, whether it meant just tweeting Eminem or so forth and so on. So that's what I would do. But then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, bro, I meant every part of the process I would do. Like I would call and email locations, like in New York. I'm like, okay, this club or this venue that has a stage. After I called them, okay, I had to get on the business side. This one Sunday I learned later too. Okay, how
Mm-hmm.
do we work out the bar? Okay, you guys keep 70% of the bar, or and I get 30%, and I keep 80% of the door. You get 20%, if that. So I
Right,
started working out those type of business deals that you don't know as an artist. You just you have to rap. So once I had the location booked, okay, location booked. Now who am I gonna bring out? And I was thinking,
right.
okay, who's somebody who's kind of in my lane of music, but could bring people out, so forth and so on. So the first show I did was Fred the Godson. He was from the Bronx. It made sense. I'm like, okay, so now hitting up Fred, and Fred wasn't too hard to get in contact with, but email
Yeah,
thread, no email. So I just DM'd him. Eventually, he hit me back, and I told him what everything I was trying to do. And I'm like, I want to make a song with you. But he's like, okay, cool. This how much would be. Let's meet up in the studio. So that's what we did. Met up in the studio, made a song. Told him about the tour. I paid him. Now the next step is bringing people out, which so promotion, and then getting other artists who can benefit from opening up for me and Fred. Though they were most likely to see Fred at first, it was good to just, all right, you use some of his exposure to help myself, and that's what I would do, bro. Just and I would recycle, repeat. I did it with Manolo Rose. Then that's when people started hitting me up to be on a tour. I mean, to be on tour.
mm,
And then
mm,
Graf was like, yo, Uni, can I haven't heard of Graf before, but Graf said, yo, Uni, can I be a part of your tour?
mm.
I'm like, okay, cool. And put Graf on a tour. Then I put Nitty Scott on tour. And then that's when I had Smoke Dizzle on tour. And then Smoke Dizzle and Graf connected for my tour. You know what I mean? And
Right,
then
right.
they got songs together, so forth and so on. And then it just kept expanding. And that's when, these different avenues started hitting me up. That's when Revolt TV came out to one of the tours. And for me, bro, who just got denied being on tours because I didn't have enough followers, or I'm like, Revolt TV is here. Then they did a write up on me. Then Power 105 did a write up on me, and I'm like, this is like, you know what I mean? This is wild,
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So,
So tell us about that tour, man. And you know, usually you hear a lot of tour stories, a lot of practical jokes going on,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
high crazy stuff going on. So, do you have like a couple of stories you can share with us on just being on that tour with a legend like Smoke Dizza? You know, just a lot of legends. You know,
Yeah.
like tell us about that tour and
Yeah, yeah, yo, bro. It was every show with the different artists had its own interesting like just turn, or turn around or whatever. For me, when I'm on tour, I am just like I was telling you, I can't I didn't really live in the moment much, so I can be very meticulous and particular about how I like things. I'm trying to get out of that, just let things be. But so
right.
I like things to be placed in a certain way and so forth and so on. So with Fred, I remember him waiting to go on, and he was just sitting by the bar drinking, chilling like, yo, Uni, it's time for me to go up yet? No, all right, let me know. And just like what, like bro, like just to make sure he was good. Smoke Dizza almost ruined my set because I had
Damn.
an introduction where I came with a boxing glove and this Uni-G poster, and he was like, okay, Uni-G, come up. But he almost skipped the introduction, so I had to like scream from the back, this is you messing up the show, bro. Like, he's like, oh, I know, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when Manolo rose, bro, oh my goodness. Like, I remember me and my guy Jarvis, we had let him know, like, hey, look, the venue's only allowing a certain amount of comps, like a certain amount of people in for free. So how many people do you need? How many people do you need? He's like, you only need like maybe 2 or 3, max 5. Manolo Rose comes with 20 people, bro. So I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? I'm like, I'm in the back. I told my guy Jarvis to handle it, and it started getting crazy. They from the hood, so they started like bum rushing the door, making threats, and it was like at a, in the city. So the white owners got a little like, okay, what's going on? And I'm like, yo, Manolo, what's up, bro? Like I asked you, like he's like, like his manager was like, yo, this is what we got, 20 people. So I ended up having to cover the charge for all 20 of them, pretty much. So
Hmm.
it was like those tour headaches where it's like, so I broke even on that show, which I never want to do. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like those type of headaches, but and then another show where the DJ messes up and except, but there's good and bad with all of them. I had a lastly the one tour I did with Graff, we went out to South by Southwest, and because I had him on my tour, he's at Uni, like wherever I go, being that you show me so much love, he said, "Yo, I'm putting you on every stage I touch." And I'm
Mm.
like, "Or like I never flew out New York at that time without like family or something like that." So I go out to Texas for the first time, and I'm like, I don't know what to expect. And bro, I'm in the venue like legit touching shoulders, literally like my shoulders touching Akon's shoulder. Akon mad tall. I didn't even know that he was that tall. Like he's like 6.
Yeah, he's tall. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
met
didn't
him
know
before.
that.
Yeah.
He's like, so I'm standing next to Akon, Trader Truth, so many people, all these like just. And I'm like, yo, like we really lit. Like I want to go on stage, perform Swerve. We about to blow up. Like
Yeah, we made
yo, we made it right.
it.
So back for your uni, when I go up, you good. Like I'm a, tell you to come on. So we were waiting 6 hours for Graph to come. That's how hungry I was, bro. Like I was
Wow.
outside of the venue 6 hours promoting. Hey, I'm performing here. Come through, hitting on my buttons, everything. Time comes to perform, bro. I never performed. Graph,
What?
Graph just left me stranded. And
Damn.
and I remember like, bro, I ain't hold. I remember just holding back. Like my eyes were hurting. I was just holding back tears because it felt like I was back in that moment where I'm trying to like, yo, prove to everybody like, yo, I got something. Just believe in me. But I had to start my own tour, right? So I was back in that moment where I'm like, dang, like, what's up? And I remember his DJ and his videographer. We was on tour so much that they grew a heart from. I remember them looking at me like, I feel it, bro. You know what I mean? And I remember he just legit disappeared. So I go out to the next like venue because there's no point in me being there. And I see them performing in the next venue, and just having like, you know what? I can't expect, and I have no shade towards them, but I just can't expect anybody to help me, even if they tell me they will. I have to
Right.
truly like just make a way for myself. And I remember just having to motivate my team because at the time they weren't my team; they were just my friends, hopping on the plane with me, trying to help me out, spending their hard earned
No money. Yeah.
so I'm just like trying to like front, like, nah, we got this, we good. And I ended up doing like a street performance. Like they have like
Okay.
a boombox and all that out in the street, and I just rap. But bro, the next I took that, and the next year I worked so hard, and by the next year I went to South by Southwest. People literally grabbed me off the street to perform in their venue, and
Mm.
and I had for the first time, all my whole team had Uni-G shirts and Uni-G jackets, something I could only dream of at that point. And people legit pulling me off the street. Yo, Uni, come before my venue. Yo, Ti, yo, you want to go right before Ti? And I'm like, me? Just last year, nobody. I was straight. Nobody wanted me. Now this year, you know what I mean? It was just like for that transition. But that's what tour life can be exciting. At the same time, it can be so like just crazy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely, man.
So,
Did you ever have a chance to talk to Graf or why?
but we in the hood. You know how it is in the hood, or black men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It was like, yo, what's good, bro? Everything you go, you go. He gave me the vibes like my fault, but it was at another performance. Actually, Fred the Godson was there, and my guy H2O was doing it. It was like a basketball event. I saw him there, and it was just like, yo, what's good? Chilling. I'm chilling, and it was like, okay, cool, and everything good with you, and that was it. There was no,
acknowledged it at all.
yeah, yeah, just whatever.
Yeah, it's probably politics. A lot of
Yeah,
people in his camp as well.
that's it.
No, it is.
Yeah, I know, bro. And what's
Yeah.
crazy is I watched the interview on Graff where he was talking about one of his biggest regrets was um, not going with Jay-Z when he had the opportunity. Because him and Kanye went to the label at the same time, and
Mm,
he was pretty much on some like, all right, Dame brought Ye and Grab, and he was on some like, I'm gonna stay loyal to Dame, and Ye was on some like, I understand Dame brought me, but I'm going with Jay, and I saw that Graf was always like somewhat regretful of feeling like, yo, I was loyal to him and I lost out on the opportunity. So it just made me think like, his mind is, which I get. He's gonna look out for himself and make sure, like, yo, look, I'm straight. You know what I mean? So it is what
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, man.
crazy.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
My next question to you, you mentioned Fred the Godson, man.
There you go.
Going too soon.
Yeah,
He actually, I met him once. I met him on Phone on Road, actually. We was
yeah,
actually giving out a couple of his mixtapes.
yeah.
He actually worked with my cousin. My cousin is Vinny Idol.
Oh, okay, okay.
He works with D Block and everybody.
Mm,
Last music, shout out to him.
mm.
When you first heard Fred dying, what was your reaction on the whole thing?
Yeah, what's so crazy? Me and Fred was talking not too long before he passed. He was telling me about a song he had with. He was telling me before he was gonna have a song with Rick Ross, and he was so hyped. Me and him were just talking. We ran into each other in Dykeman, and
Mm-hmm.
shortly after, I heard that he got sick. So I texted him like, "Yo, bro, hope you good. Hope push through, pull through, whatever." And then when he died, I'm like, "Nah, this is like, you know what I mean?" I remember being like,
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. Like, this is just, because at the time we didn't know what COVID was. Like, really, it was like, like, oh, so this is serious. So this is not no made up on TV thing. And
exactly.
yeah, and I remember like it just thinking like, nah, this is unbelievable. Because me and Fred, like, I actually, I was on his tour starting out before I put on my tour with the company called Drop on Top ENT. So me and Fred went way, way, way back, like 2014,
Mm-hmm.
way back. And then just to hear like that's where he was after me and him was on tour. We made like skit videos together, like we just a whole bunch of stuff. So hearing that was just like, wow, like this is serious, you know what I mean? And then me thinking about his kids and his wife, like they have no father now. It was heartbreaking, you know.
Yeah, man. It was tough, man.
Yeah,
Good dude, humble dude. You know, underrated as well as a lyricist. Man,
yeah,
he just. I was watching his flex freestyle a couple of days ago, man. Like
yeah,
the dude, he had it. He had it. Whatever it was, he had it. Charisma and everything. So rest in peace to Freddie Godson on that one,
yeah,
man.
man, crazy.
Yeah, definitely. My next question to you, you mentioned Lupe is one of your favorite
Yeah,
rappers.
Big Lil.
You got to perform with Lupe.
I performed with him.
So tell us about that, man. How good you felt performing with one of your idols, man.
Yeah, yeah. What's crazy is I'll tell you. What's crazy? Today's Brother Godson's birthday too. That's crazy. But with Lupe,
Wow,
yeah, I
that's
know it's
crazy.
crazy. With Lupe, I remember, bro. Of course, in high school, just hearing Kick Push, go for the song. Like, yo, son is dope. Like, I
Hmm.
like his wordplay. So, the booking company I was with before, it was called Levels Management. He would get tell you about. He would see that I think forgot that Levels Management. And he was telling me, yo, you need to hit up this booking agency so they can like, expand your, reach. So I hit him up. I guess they heard my music and it was like, yo, you would, be great for, these type of artists. And Lupe was one of them. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So, it was a lot of like back and forth stuff. Eventually we landed it and I went out to California for the first time to, be a part of his tour. And legit, it was a dream come true. You know, yeah, it was a dream come true. I'm like, I can't believe I'm about to perform with Lupe. And there was a few other artists who was opening up for him. My guy Coda, who used to film my videos, and me and Coda was on the same boat. Like, dang, like we just want to make it. So to have me and Coda opening up, Lupe was just crazy. So, bro, when I say I gave my all on that stage, I have a book out there, like we call it the Uni-G TV. It's like a TV, but it has like my promotion on the back of it, like a
Gotcha.
LED, like legit TV. I had that on stage. I did things. I don't know. God legit gave me a different type of power that day. Like I had people from the audience. They didn't like this. I had people from the audience hop on stage, get light, dance, and I was throwing stuff, and it was crazy. So I'm in the audience now, just chilling, looking at Lupe perform, studying him, and some girl was just talking to me like, "Yo, you did dope." I'm like, "Thank you." Like, Lupe, my favorite rapper. She said, "Word," and we just really bonded. And it was the first time I didn't have to sell myself. As artists, they're like, "Yo, you have a 5 minute pitch or a 5 second pitch."
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, so, bro, I'm just talking to her. And she's like, "Yeah, actually, I'm on his management team." I said, "Who?"
Wow.
I said, "Who's management team?" She's like, "Lupe." And I'm like, she's like, "Yo, you want to stay on tour with us?" I said, "Wait a minute, like I don't even want to be paid. Just let me." So yeah, so her name was KD, and she legit was like, "Cool, we come to New York," and she actually come out a few shows, but a few of the shows just didn't work out with my schedule. So they came out to New York. We did Sony Hall, and bro, like
Oh, it's big.
yeah, I did. Yeah, bro, I gave my
So
all.
big.
Yeah, yeah.
Made it was when we making something home. You know you made it.
You do it. So yeah, we did Sony Hall, and of course the room was so packed. People was like on top of each other, and I gave my
Mm.
all. And Lupe was like, "Yo, give it up for Uni-G," and the crowd went crazy. And he was like, "Yo, bro, let's." He was like, "Yo," he himself and KD, the manager, or whatever, was like, "Yo, look, let's keep on. So let's go to Africa with it." I said,
Whew.
"He was like, we got Zambia, Kenya, all these other places, and then the pandemic happened."
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
yeah, I know. I know, but either or, the opportunity is still dope. I'm hoping to still, hop back on tour with them, work out some things. He's actually, I have him on the intro of my album, so
Dope.
this next album coming out. So I'm hoping to get a few tracks on him and take. But the being on tour with Lupe was just, I was
Mind blowing, man.
I was like, I don't know what to say to him. Like, I'm like, hey, doing the weird pound when you miss the beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're trying to be cool, but you're not.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I mean, so it was, it was dope, though.
Definitely, man. Shout out to Lupe Fiasco, man. Another underrated MC. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That should be up there.
facts.
I got all the Lupe albums, man. My
Right.
favorite song is the shit he did with on the Laser album.
Mm,
Um,
I'll just listen to that.
Girl, I want you to
Oh,
know.
Trey Song, yeah.
That's whew,
Yeah, it was a banger. That's a banger.
that's a bigger right there. Shout out to him, man. Lupe,
Yeah,
very underrated.
very,
Um,
very.
my next question to you. Let's talk about the new album.
Yeah,
If you can, I don't know. You wanna?
yeah, yeah.
Yes. So tell us about what's the do you have a title for the album?
So I got a few titles.
Okay,
Kev keeps throwing a title at me. I don't know if I
so we're
want
not
to.
there. We're not there
Yeah, I don't know.
yet.
He thinks I should call it "I'm Here to Inspire." I don't know if I want to call it that yet. I like to moving forward, like to play off my name, like "Welcome to my universe." But if I put uni in inspired, it would just be uninspired. So I don't know what I
Gotcha,
want to really
gotcha.
want to do with it yet. But that's as far as the title goes. Over thinking, brainstorming.
Right.
But the vibe I'm going for is, much not much different from Welcome to My Universe, but more refined and defined because I'm
Mm,
I'm going in it to glorify God. So I'm like, okay, I'm making sure my
absolutely.
person and every song has a point. Like, even if it's just having fun, there's a point to this, and the point is to show you like, look, I've given my heart to God, and I want to bring you closer to God without and that doesn't mean I'm a Christian rapper. I don't know what that is really. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're not gonna push in that category.
Yeah,
I hate
exactly.
just putting you in a box and some shit like, no, you're a rapper.
exactly. I'm a
Right.
rapper who's Christian. You know what I mean? Like,
Universal. Universal.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm just more so focusing on songs that I feel like are truly like dear to my heart and just real. Like I have a song called my favorite song so far is Queen to Me, and Kings. I really love those songs. The song with Lupe on the intro. I feel like it's dope. I'm gonna have a few more features on there. I'm not gonna drop all the
Yeah.
features because I want it to be
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How many tracks is on the album?
it's gonna be seven. I'm only do seven this time.
7 tracks. Okay.
Seven tracks, yeah. So last album was 13. I feel like now 13 tracks feel like a double disc. You know what I mean? Like in today's
That's
world.
what I mean.
Yeah, you know,
It's in a category.
right, right.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
have like seven songs in this album. I got some big. I'm having some big features on there. Lupe being one of them on the intro, so forth and so on. But the album pretty much is about just inspiring, opening up your heart. Giving your heart to God, being honest about stuff, like being able to truly look yourself in the mirror about what you're going through. You could be in a room full of people and feel the loneliness. You could be, you know what I mean? You could be on top of the world and feel dead inside. And that's what I want to, pretty much touch on. Like, nah, you ain't got to be that. You ain't got to feel like that. You ain't got to, let's stop fronting. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much the idea behind the project.
absolutely, yeah, man. Tell us about the mind state that you was in actually creating this new project.
Yeah.
Where were you at mentally?
Yeah. So what's so crazy is I have a song on there called "I'm Free," and I have my church choir on there. And I
Mm.
remember when I mentally where I was at when I wrote the song, it was actually around the time when my father passed. My father passed suddenly, like it was like
Rest in peace, man.
yeah.
Rest in
Thank
peace.
you, bro.
Sorry for that, bro.
Thank you, bro. We didn't even know what was gonna happen, and I remember just writing the song, and the lyrics are so opposite of what I was going through mentally. I was just like, I was, and so or more so rapping for where my mind is now, the freedom, the gift of life, the blessings that God has put before us, and to be
Mm.
blessed means to be superlatively happy, like overly happy. I'm like, I'm not rapping for this moment. I'm rapping for tomorrow, and that's why I feel like my mind has kind of always been in many things. Like I was telling you, I don't live in the moment. I live tomorrow. But more so, where my mind was in writing this was, how can I do what Michael Jackson did, or Alex Huxley with his book of Brave New World? It's not about today. It's about the ever after. Will people be able to pick up my album in 20, 40 years, even when I'm gone, and be like, yo, this is a masterpiece. Today, you put on Michael Jackson's song. Kids love it. We love it, and the older people love it.
Absolutely.
In with this album. You know what I mean? With
Mm.
moving forward. So just
Yeah.
not for now, after and the ever after and before.
Timeless. Timeless. You making
Timeless,
timeless music.
timeless.
That's why I like, man. Drop a Saucy bomb for that one,
Come
man.
on,
Drop a
drop
Saucy bomb, man.
so
My man making timeless music. That's his mindset is in, man. He tried to do the Prince, the Michael Jacksons, he tried to do the Jay-Z's, the Nas, and all that, man. He trying to make timeless music, man.
right, right,
Shout out to you, man. My next question to you,
right.
um, what artists you would like to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Ooh, I'm trying. I'm gonna put this in the work, put this into the God heart.
Manifest it, manifest
So
it.
pray, yeah, pray for it. I have Rap City on. I have a list of features on there. I have Rap City on the list.
Ooh,
On the album.
nice,
And Lecrae. A few
dope.
other artists, but pray that that happens. But those are definitely two artists I want to work with in my more immediate intentions. As far as like further on, not that even now. I want Ye. I want to work with Ye. Not
Oh, yeah, everybody want to, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I want to work with
Mm-hmm.
Ye.
Mm-hmm.
I want Most Def on the album.
Ooh,
I want Talib.
okay.
These some of the artists I feel like I definitely want to work with, and I want to work with like a mainstream artist like Rose, like Rick Ross, but do it in a way where we can both glorify God. Not where we talking about girls and popping bottles, but more so like
Sure.
people see like everybody who's like, yo, I like to thank God first, but like, yo, let's really do that through our music. You know what I
He,
mean?
and he could do that, man. Like
Exactly.
he's very versatile like that. So
Yeah.
he can make club records and talk
Right.
about girls and bottles, but he could actually talk his I mean, I want to
Yeah.
curse
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whole show, but he
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
talk his talk. You know what I'm saying? So that I think that would, especially the joint he did on his album,
Mm.
uh not the new one.
Okay.
It's an old album. We did the BMF joint is Freemason. He's he's
Yes. Yes.
he
Yes.
spent some he
Yeah.
spent some knowledge on that, man,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be so fire. I wanted Rick Ross on. my song Pablo. Pablo is now my biggest song to date. Like it surpassed Swerve and all of that was on Power 105 and all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um, I wanted him on a remix, but just couldn't, work it out. I'm not gonna let that dream die. I'm probably gonna still, probably still
Yeah,
try to get one. But I think if we was able to really like get on a song where we just truly like spitting our heart and glorifying God as the intention of it, it'll just be so
absolutely.
dope because so many rappers. I mean, so many people listen to rappers. Like rappers have become, in a sense, the world's god. Beyonce, people legit worship her. She's my idol. So and it's like, dang, like, what if we were really to redirect that? Like, let's give God his shine. Like, you're not.
Exactly.
I think that would be so dope.
All things are possible, man.
Yeah.
My last question for you before we get out of here, man. Uni-G, the artist, Uni-G, the brand. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
In the next 10 years, I see myself definitely touring, still touring the world. I see myself in movies. I've always, since a kid, I've been producing music since I was 17. So over I don't know how many years now, 15, over 15 years or whatever. Um, and I always wanted to produce for video games and movies, like do the
Mm,
scores. So I definitely see that a part of my future, as well as doing like going in church, probably even planting a church.
mm,
Planting
mm.
churches and truly changing people's lives. With God's words, not only my music but with my testimony. I feel like when people hear like, yo, like Graff left you stranded, or this person did this, so forth and so on, and still see that I have God's glory shining through me. I wanted to inspire them, like, yo, nah, like I didn't give up because I didn't want to find too much identity in music. I'm not music, you know what I mean? I'm just a disciple of Christ first. Then
Right.
music comes after that, so forth and so on. But that's not what defines you. So if it doesn't go well, or if I have to give it up, then it is what it is, But I want to be able to truly do that in the next 10 years, like it's truly change people's lives with God's words through music, being movies and TV shows and so forth and so on. But most importantly, like baptizing more people, helping them to really find their identity in Christ. My name used to be Uni-G, the unidentified God, because I was like, the idea behind it is who do we identify in God? Like, but now that I have found my identity in God, I've transitioned to mad time. I don't know. It's probably gonna be something else next week. It'll be Uni God, or what I'm saying,
Yeah,
Unilife,
yeah, yeah.
Guardian, so forth and so on. But yeah, just doing that in the next 10 years.
Absolutely, man. Give him a saucy applause for that
Come
one,
on,
man.
man.
Give him a saucy applause for that one, man. God damn it.
Yeah, get saucy.
Yeah. Yo, Uni-G, man, it was a pleasure to have you on, man.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Thank you.
like I said, man, we'll be doing the show. Uh, um, People who had guests on the show, I mentioned earlier, Helena is a Saucy alumni. You are now officially a
Come
Saucy
on,
alumni.
get saucy.
Definitely, definitely, and you more than welcome to come back on the show, man. We talk about everything on the show, not just do interviews. We do interviews. We have panels, talk about different topics in the world, whether it's relationships, whether it's politics, and stuff like that. So you more than welcome to come back on the show. You need anything to promote, man? Just hit me up. I'm supporting 100%. We need to support each other, and definitely, man. This is the first of many of you in our relationship and actually be on the show, man. I appreciate you for being on, man. Taking time out to be on the show.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Absolutely.
It was a good time. It's crazy how God aligns it. You know what I mean? Went to school together, so forth and so on. But like,
That's how the exactly that's how the universe works, man. That's how God works, man.
God works.
Works in mysterious ways, man. And we have mutual friends, man. And shout out to Ted and Kevin and all that, man.
Facts, facts, facts.
Dude, we go way back playing basketball,
Yeah.
and all that, and Pigeon Park,
Right, right, right.
especially on 95 playgrounds, stuff like that. We legends on that court. You better ask somebody. We
So,
legends on that court. Definitely, definitely, man.
that's fine.
Good luck to your new project. I definitely be paying attention to that, man. I can't wait for you to drop your new project as well. BX is definitely in the building, and definitely send me the link to your website with the is it on your Instagram profile
Yeah,
to
yeah.
your
Yes,
to your fashion line and everything.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna put that in the links below as well as I publish the episode and everything. But man,
Got you.
definitely. Good luck to you, man. And yo, we got this is only the beginning, like I said. And I just got back into music again. I took a long hiatus. I was just having babies, stuff like that. So
Okay, okay.
I'm slowly getting back into the music, and man, I would love to do a song with you. So I'm gonna definitely hit you up on behind the scenes on that.
Let's get it.
Definitely as well. I'm working on the project right now.
Okay.
So I'm definitely hit you up. I definitely need. I definitely need the church boys on this one.
Come on, let's get the vibe. Let's get the vibe, bro.
Definitely the church boys on this one because
Yeah,
we
vibe.
grown men now, and we got a lot to say.
Hit them on, bro. Let's get it. I'm
Definitely.
performing tomorrow too. If you
Oh yeah.
if anybody's free to pull out, be free to pull out, bro. It's
Oh,
gonna
tell us
be
about that. Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be with my guys, the Bronx Native and Tag Up Studio, Tag Up Music. It's gonna be at
Bronx
381.
Native of the store.
Huh?
Bronx Native of the store.
Yeah. Bronx
Hey,
Native.
dope. Okay.
Yeah, they asked me to come out tomorrow, be a
Yes.
feature performer at their they have like another venue. It's called Tag Up Music, or Tag Up Studios. It's gonna be at 381 Canal Place tomorrow, the Bronx at 7:30. No, today was at 7:30. Today was at 8. Yeah, so 7:30 tomorrow, 381 Canal Place. It's gonna be dope. I'm be performing with them. So yeah, bro, pull ups. Also, if you want to come through the church, that's on Sundays, every Sunday. That's at 39 West 29th Street. It's called NYC ICC. Or you can follow them on at NYC Disciples. And of course, me, I am Uni-G. I am Uni-G.com. All of that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. You heard it here on such conversations. You want to pull up on this performance tomorrow, Bronx. Shout out to Bronx Native. They're doing big
Yep.
things in the Bronx, man. They being recognized. Shout out to them. They feeding the homeless. They putting that Bronx brand out there. So shout out to them.
Right.
Yeah, man. That's the end of social conversations episode 11, man. Um, Want to send a special shout out to sponsors, which is Click A Vodka, and also Holistic Remedies. Make sure you go support them as well. Just support black businesses, and don't forget to use that promo code HRMeSaucy, and you get 10% off. Shout out to my co-hosts going to be today, Mac, Dad, Bernice. Shout out to the whole Saucy Nation. I'm definitely having a 24/7 streaming TV network dropping this year. So if you want to be a part of the network, you want your music videos played, if you have like a TV series, short film, whatever, hit me up at socialnationtv@gmail.com, and I will send you all the information involving the network and everything. Go get you some official social conversations merch as well. We have everything. We have t-shirts, hoodies, pet hoodies. It's winter time, so you don't want your pet to be cold outside. So we got everything to make your pet, feel warm when you walk in your pet, dog, cat, it doesn't matter. So we got everything on that. Shout out to my other podcast as well. Social Discourse is the big show. We drop. We go live every Thursday. So make sure you go support that. Support us on all streaming platforms. Social Nation TV at Twitch. Social Nation TV on Facebook. Make you go watch the broadcast over again if you missed it on Social Nation TV, Facebook, and YouTube channel. We appreciate y'all for joining the show, and we out of here. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace out.